Question?
I wondered about the, I ran for a lot of years, and I've been biking the last 4 years and loving it, but I wanted to get back into running. And I wear orthotics, and I'm a little bit nervous about, not running with orthotics. And I remember I ran the Abshire Beacon about 5 times, and the most fun I had, I juggled the entire race, all the way through the race. And it was easy, and the recovery was amazingly fast because I was forward.
Yeah,
Everybody said, "Boy, you must be tired. Your hands must." I said, "No, I've been training for this. I had to train away from the roads because people kept, getting into accidents." So I trained, on a track, and but it was I was ready to run like the next day.
That's the way it is.
It's funny sometimes you can take somebody who's superbly fit, and I do a lot of muscle testing and evaluation in my office, and they're strong everywhere, and then you get down to the feet, and I ask them to hold their foot like that, and I push it that way, and they can't, for the life of them, they can't hold it. So they're strong all the way down to their ankles, and it's because, it's kind of, the analogy I use is if you put your arm in a sling every morning when you woke up, and you took it off and went to bed, and then you did that for 6 months, what's it going to look like when you're done? I mean, orthotics, and she could tell us, they don't actually support your feet as much as you think. They don't lessen the impact. If anything, they allow you to run in such a way that it heightens the impact. And at the same time, it's making your feet become weaker with time. So it is hard. You just have to go real slow. I mean, when I first got Newton's, I literally ran for like 5 minutes, and then I would come home, put some other shoes on, and finish the run, and just really slowly upped. I did start over. I started with 1 mile.
Eric.
To follow up to your desire, I guess, to become more perceptive with barefoot, I guess the natural question to ask then would you do it on surface such as sand or grass or pavement? And that's this question to both Kristen and Google and so I'm curious what you're
I think it's interesting. I think that I would almost go on a hard surface. That would be sort of my, just to start with. I don't know, just to sort of get that proprioceptive, or on the grass. I know that Jamie's done it on the grass the whole entire time to get that proprioceptive ability. I don't know. I don't have a good answer which one I would start with. I think that you can at least see a little bit when you're going on a hard surface, and you're going to be a little bit more, what the surface is, and you know where you are, and if you're on a track or something flat, and you can sort of work with that and if you're starting out type of thing. But then ultimately, I think you get to a point where if you gain some more strength in the intrinsics of the foot, you can run down to the boulevard and back, and it doesn't really matter so much what the surface is.
I think grass is a good place to start. One of the biggest surprises I had was the road. Actually, after a while, the road became very comfortable because it's what's on the road. Generally, you can see. And I never got to know trees so well as when I was running barefoot. Oh, there's an oak tree. Look out for acorns. And on the road, you can pretty much see. So it comes to be more about the texture of the road. Is it freshly, newly paved? Is it smooth? That actually feels very nice.
Mike.
I have a question for Danny as far as Newton's on trail. Because of that firm platform, is that going to make trail running unusual?
No, it's awesome actually, because the way the lugs move independently, if you step on a rock in the middle of all that, if you're in a foam shoe, even with a plate in there, you kind of if it has a plate in there, you just kind of roll off the side of it, or it's going to come up and spear your foot, bruise your foot. With the Newtons, you have the plate on the top for protection, biomechanical, but underneath, the lugs will just bend and morph around whatever you're stepping on. So the Newtons are awesome off-road. I've run, in our racers, 50 miles with on trails with no problem. It's just it allows you to be more agile and feel what you're feeling. Typical trail shoes get too overly protective and too stiff, and it's easier actually to sprain your ankle and things of that nature. So trying to get the heel out of the way.